hello you archaeologists, I'm the John Struct, and I'm having I'm having an AI, the Somnium Files adventure. Is this the latest one? Yes, I guess it is. Yeah, I remember now. We're very close to finishing this, I think. Taken like 40 hours. What happened to... there was her and there was him. Then we drove through the rain. It was raining. We punched some people. And it was raining. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. Right, pride. Little... too bright, if you ask me. Oh, there we go. It's still raining. Look at this dog! Going to the abandoned factory. Because there are only so many locations in this game. Oh, hang on, no, this is new.
Is this the place?
Yes.
Where did Renji try to take you?
That door in the back.
Let's check it out then. It's another Somnium, another sync machine. The stolen one.
This is...
a sync machine. Though it appears to be slightly different than the one in Abyss.
Could this be the prototype Peter was talking about?
The Chiba Police Department was working on a prototype, but it was stolen 6 years ago.
But what's it doing here? Hey, Iris! Are you okay? Iris, stay with me!
Date, Iris's vital signs are going critical.
What? Why?
Dun 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 dun.
Unknown. But I believe the issue is with her brain.
Her brain?
Part of her brain is experiencing massive failure. If this continues...
It's the same violins.
Let's get her to a hospital.
Impossible. You do not have enough time.
We're gonna have to use the sync.
I estimate that Iris's brain can last only 10 to 15 more minutes before the damage is irreparable.
How do you know that?
I have scanned and analyzed her thoroughly.
It's weird that you're able to do that, Ivor.
Her symptoms indicate that she will die within minutes.
Why aren't you constantly scanning people? That's the sound dying people make. Soft moans.
Sync.
What?
Dun 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 dun.
I'll use the sync machine here to go inside her brain.
That will not cure her condition.
I'm not trying to cure her. 2 days ago, I saw her dead body. After that, we went into Sosajima's brain. And in his Somnium, I saved Iris. And somehow, I saved Iris in the real world, too.
Maybe you were in a parallel world or something.
If I do the same thing again...
You think you can save her?
Yes. Iva, please, help me.
Is that an order?
Yes.
Then I suppose I have no choice. My mission is to support you.
All right. We don't have a lot of time. Let's get moving.
It's not a very good bit conspiracy theory. You like...
Date, this device is a prototype. It is not identical to the one at Abyss.
You said that already, so what?
I do not know how to reset it. There must be a manual of some kind. We need to find that before we begin.
That means we have to look at all the objects in the room. Crane. An overhead crane. Chemical bottles. A bottle of chemicals.
This is the console that controls the sync machine.
So if we use this...
The machine can be activated, but we need the manual first.
There's an oil drum. And a console. We need the manual first. There's Iris. She's not responding. We need to hurry. Or Iris is gonna explode the sync chair. Subject's chair. The person sitting here is the subject of the sinking. Oh, and the sinker's chair. The person sitting here does the sinking. And there's a locker. No manual there. There's a mirror. A normal mirror. A medical simulation mannequin. It's creepy. Nope. I mean, nothing manual like this over here. There's a sync machine. Ah, this is the most exciting looking at every object in the room we've done so far. Iris is lying limp on the sink chair. At least she isn't sink on the limp chair. That's not a thing, John. There's a manual, but we've got to look at everything else first. Shelf A.
Is that thing on the shelf?
Manual is on that shelf. I don't believe you, game. A lot of stuff here, but no manual. There's a bookshelf. There were lots of books, but I don't see a manual. There's a long, long desk in the corner of the room. The manual there. There's a chair. It's a chair. There's a medical shelf. It's full of medical chemicals. The best kind of chemicals. Skies. Orange. Orange, you glad. I finally gone back to the sync machine. Prototype sync equipment. No idea why this is here. We need to find that manual. Here's the manual.
Found it.
That's how I read stuff as well.
I don't believe it.
It's just a picture of my face. Oh, it's Cyber.
Date, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Is that an iron on your face? Nice. Time to sink or swim. Oh, this Minecraft
Shovel
one.
Forge again?
This looks kind of like the other time I synced with Iris, but there's a different atmosphere now.
Yes, that place we just were at.
By the way, what happened to your usual appearance?
I decided to hold back this time. This is no time to be playing around. Putting that aside, you want to help Iris, correct? Then we
So what do we need to do?
care to ask the owner of this world?
I didn't mean to cut off.
She's lost consciousness, even in her own Somnium.
That proves how critical her condition is. Whoa!
What was that?
I do not know, but it appears as though we have no choice but to believe those words.
The Fruit of Immortality, huh? But I don't see any fruit.
We need to do something about this beam of light first.
Do we?
I've seen that monument before.
Back then. So I keep cutting people off.
Somnium scan! Activate!
save her, you need to give her the Fruit of Immortality. Do something about the beam of light. Right, well...
A monument is placed on top of the pedestal.
I thought it was almond tofu on top of a rice cake.
Investigate.
This is the same monument we saw before.
Can you move it?
I can try. I cannot move it.
But we'll probably need it for something.
That is a high possibility. I saw this iris during the previous sync.
We should investigate.
The beam of light is passing through.
If there was a monument on this pedestal, it would hit the iris beam just right.
You're right. It doesn't seem like we can do anything else here.
Yeah. Bring the monument over and we can put it into the iris beam.
Excuse me, could you stop calling it the iris beam?
What else do you want me to call this light beam?
That! Light beam is fine.
What's wrong with Iris Beam? No, there's the dog. We were looking at the dog earlier. Egg.
An egg-shaped monument.
For these trying times.
It looks more like a sugar cube to me.
Okay. Place on pedestal.
I see. Putting this here cuts off the light.
I feel like I've seen this in a movie.
Don't you mean you've seen this in Iris's Somnium?
Just put it down. Didn't expect that.
No, this is... I see.
Did you figure something out?
This might turn into a pentagram.
A geometric shape.
Oh, I get it. That means...
Yes, that leaves this remaining. A Chozuya.
Investigate. Okay then. Just the face.
Oh, lucky me! This man again! Did you see that, Date?
I don't think that's the reaction you're supposed to have.
Cool. Don't know what I'm supposed to do with this though. Do you have another egg? Could dig up the flowers.
A winter iris.
We'll try digging.
As I said before, if you want me to do that, I require the right tools.
It's a flower. Are you telling me you can't pluck it with your hands?
You did not have to be insulting. Oh, did I get it?
Doesn't seem like the tool was the problem.
I am relieved that I don't have to dig anymore.
Don't speak too soon. Be ready to go whenever.
I am assuming this gate leads to the Hall of Worship.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Rather ornate.
Yeah, the contractor must have had a hell of a time.
Not sure what to do. I'll try putting my hand in, shall I?
A Chozuya. Let me see. There's something here. A monument. If you place it against the light, it will complete the pentagram.
Let's do that then.
Do it. What?
They have appeared before. It may symbolize Iris's insecurities. Whoa! We have to deal with them before we find the Fruit of Immortality.
I know, right?
Well, what do you want me to do?
They don't want us to complete the pentagram.
Is that why they attacked the Chozuya and Irises?
But this pedestal has not been attacked. They cannot attack it for some reason.
You think so?
What other explanation could there be? As long as there is even a slight possibility, we must try.
Yeah.
Right.
Thinking about what worked previously, we need to make a pentagram, but the attack has scrambled everything. We do not have time for trial and error. Think carefully. An arch.
This is called a torii.
An egg-shaped monument. Understood. Where would you like me to place it? A pedestal with nothing on top. Upsy daisy!
What does that mean?
I was merely trying to lighten the mood.
I appreciate the thought, but
Oh, okay. A pedestal with nothing on top of it.
Let's investigate it.
Something is strange about this pedestal.
you're right. It looks weird.
Could this be the result of a bug?
If that's the case, we can't use it.
That is concerning.
A guardian dog statue. Iris is unconscious. A pedestal with nothing on. An arch.
This is called a torii.
I feel as though we shouldn't go through here.
We can't leave Iris behind.
Iris is unconscious. ability.
It's not what we need help
No
with.
use.
We are draining Iris's stamina and our time.
Yeah, that's not why I
We
wanted to
should be
talk to
doing
her.
something else then.
A guardian dog. If we had a monument, we could place it here. An egg-shaped... Understood. Where would you like me to... A guardian dog step.
Right, but what did you say?
Nothing. I have no... Understood. The light!
Pentagram is complete.
It is?
What?
Why isn't it working? The pentagram is complete.
The placement of the monuments must be incorrect. The lines of the pentagram must form the golden ratio. You cannot call it a true pentagram if the shape is broken. At the very least, the placement needs to be symmetrical.
Got it. I'll try again.
I'm gonna lose, aren't I?
An egg-shaped Understood. Where would you like me to... A pedestal with Understood.
It came back.
Perhaps because the colors don't...
Maybe.
A pedestal with... Upsy dick! The light!
No, it's the same thing I did before.
The pentagram is complete.
I guess that one there. But I want to restart the chapter. We didn't see the blue one for ages.
An egg-shaped Understood. Where would you... A pedestal. Understood. An egg-shaped... Understood. Where would you like me to... A pedestal. Upsy daisy.
What does that mean?
I was.
I appreciate the
Oh. The light.
The pentagram is complete.
One of them's in the wrong place, right? How can we fix that? I don't know how. One, two. So I guess we want that one there.
What?
Why isn't it working?
The placement of the monument. You cannot, at the very least.
Got it.
An egg-shaped. Understood. Where would? A pedestal. Understood. A pedestal with a Understood. Where would you like me to place it? A pedestal. Understood. An egg-shaped. Understood. Where would you like me? A pedestal. Upsy.
What does that?
I was.
I appreciate.
Oh.
Right. I believe that's correct.
The light!
The pentagram's complete.
What?
The world is...
It's breaking down!
World is a vampire. Where are we now?
The Shovel Forge world disappeared. I am back to my usual appearance.
What about Iris?
It appears that she is unharmed.
Give the fruit of the Tokiji Kuno Kaku, for you shall then be blessed with eternal life.
Aiba, the door to the shrine opened. Is that the Fruit of Immortality?
It appears to be the seed of a citrus fruit of some kind, but we need the actual fruit.
That voice said something about the Fruit of Immortality. I wasn't expecting it to be literal.
Some believe that the Fruit of Immortality is a Tachibana orange. The Tachibana orange comes from a variety of evergreen trees. So we are looking for some kind of fruit. Fruits have edible flesh surrounding the seeds.
Right, but if we only have the seed...
You gotta throw the plant. Grow the plant.
This is a dream world. If we plant it now, it may grow quickly.
Iba, you ready to slash and burn?
I see. If we plant it there...
It sprouted.
This must be a positive sign.
I think it looks really good against the rainbow. I like that. It's a good effect.
With the ashes as compost, then all we need is...
See, if I remember, that's the cover for the episode. Hey, guardian dog.
A lantern.
Yeah, the pedestal and the monument.
Let's investigate it.
It's a Chozuya. Why is it not broken?
Let's dig it. Let's investigate it first.
The Chozuya was destroyed in the Shovel Forge world. The place where the irises were blooming has turned to ash.
Another bug?
That is a possibility.
But why?
Unknown. It's a Chozuya.
Okay, ready to dig in.
You do know this is not the Shovel Forge world, correct?
Dig.
But there's a pickaxe on the ground there.
Pickaxe? You're right. But why? The pickaxe even looks strange.
Maybe Iris left it behind because she wanted you to use it.
Perhaps. I'll use it.
Perhaps.
Whoa!
It's raining. So this is the Fruit of Immortality.
We should take some for ourselves as well.
We need to hand this over to Iris.
Right. Hurry. Wait for me, Iris. I'm coming.
Okay, so the fact that I even thought of that makes me terribly a selfish person. Well, you know, I'll save you. Keep one for me as well. I'll eat it afterwards, obviously. Just in case there's only one.
Iris is unconscious.
Give the Fruit of Immortality. Okay, we should eat some now, right? It's clearly working. This is presumably what the other guy was trying to do, right? Say they're using the machine.
Thank you.
Loads of time to spare. I arguably could have done it without the 5 Iris A acquired. Yeah, I might not have even had to reload.
Oh, good. You're awake.
Date, thank you for everything you've done for me.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I'm gonna die, aren't I?
No. Don't talk crazy. I synced with you to save you. This has to be the timeline where you live.
I don't want to die yet. I don't want to die. Don't want to die. I met you. I wanted to spend more time with you. I wanted to go places.
I'll take you. I'll take you wherever you want. I'll take you to Ichirup, Kunashir, Shikotan, Habamai. Anywhere you want, Iris.
Really?
Yes,
I'm gonna be okay.
of course. You won't die, I promise.
Okay. I'm glad. I'm not gonna die. I can be with you forever.
Of course you can.
Well, I didn't have any of the Fruit of the Immortality, but
You're gonna live, Iris, forever and ever. You'll become a grown woman, get married, have kids. I'll even babysit them for you.
Tate, thank you. These past few days have been so much fun. Please, Mr. Dante! You can't leave me! Your back is so warm, Mr. Date. It feels like I've met you before. Then go on a date with me. And the Greek goddess of rainbows.
we're getting the Iris ending,
You're
right?
the only person I can trust.
So very much feels like she's about to die.
Put it in the oven. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Date, can you tell me one last thing? I've been looking. Are you...
No, no, Iris. You can't die. Please, Iris. Iris. Iris!
Oh. That'll be an ending, right? The Iris ending. There we go. But that will have unlocked one of the paths. I skipped through. We can watch the last one. Iris route. End. Presumably she dies in all the routes, though. I mean, literally in some of them. I'd like to save. I'd like to save her life. But perhaps we can't. Unlocked. That's very satisfying. Well, I guess that's what we're doing. Ira claims she would remove the dandelions growing as it. What does that? I don't know what that means. Begin investigation. She's gone missing, right? She's gone to the only person she can trust. That was weird. Just popped
Have
on
you
the screen for a
settled down?
second.
The scene is being inspected without you. This time the body didn't disappear. However, you lost consciousness. I didn't expect you to faint. Seeing that corpse must have been incredibly shocking.
Oh yeah, I remember now. We found her dead. Yeah.
I did not predict you to be the fainting type. I suppose humans are unpredictable. Now that you're back, let's get back to business.
That means she's dead in every timeline. Yeah.
You are conscious, are you not?
Why are you
at a
bubbling?
loss for words? Date, don't let negative thoughts consume you. Thinking that Iris died because of me.
That means the final route was my first route forwards. That's kind of cool.
If I never took her to Ota's, this wouldn't have happened. If you truly believe that, then your brain is completely rotten. Or perhaps when you saw the corpse, your head became filled with images of blooming yellow dandelions.
What?
Oh, you're talking now. Was I correct? If you consider the situation logically, even an elementary school student would understand.
Huh?
Fine. Allow me to pluck some of those dandelions from your mind. I will ask 3 questions. Please answer honestly. First question. The cold storage warehouse was not in regular operation, but even so, the AC was on, and a minus 58-degree temperature was maintained. Why is that?
To preserve something.
To preserve something.
Yes. Let us move on to the next question. Second question. There was something strange about the corpse. Do you remember what that was?
It was missing its right eye.
That is a unique factor. But there was something else. Something more peculiar.
It was completely frozen.
Iris's body was completely frozen. The temperature read -58. With Iris's weight... Just wondering, but how much do you weigh?
Don't you know it's rude to ask a lady that?
105 pounds.
I see. 105, huh? It should have taken about 18 hours to freeze solid. But we were...
Wait a moment. Before you draw your conclusion, allow me to ask my final question. Question 3. 2 days ago, Sunday night, you found a dead body in the cold storage warehouse. But afterward, you visited the Sagan household and discovered that Iris was in fact still alive. Why?
You mean...
You mean?
You've got it.
You don't... What? That she's not dead is, I guess. But like, it's funny that my option was not to get an answer. I bolted into the warehouse like I was shot out of a gun. It's the same body as I saw before. Okay.
I don't believe it.
The stomach is swollen slightly. She appears to have been pregnant.
How?
Do not worry. The uterus does not contain a fetus.
You mean after she was killed?
No. The fetus was not present in her body when she was killed. She must have been killed after giving birth. The distended stomach does not immediately shrink after birth. The expanded uterus takes some time to return to its normal size. This evidence makes one thing perfectly obvious.
It's not her.
This corpse isn't Iris. It's someone else.
Which means...
Iris is still alive.
Not necessarily. She could be alive. We haven't confirmed that yet. Multiple stab wounds with a single-edged, sharp object to the victim's back. Judging by the size and shape of the marks, the weapon was most likely a kitchen knife. This matches what you said on Sunday.
So this is the body I saw then.
Okay. It's just somebody that looks the same.
Is there an estimated time of death?
Impossible to determine. This body has been completely frozen for at least 10 years.
10 years? She was killed more than 10 years ago?
Exactly.
Well, that means it's the original killer.
Her identity is unknown. Her killer is also unknown. But there is one likely suspect.
It's Hermie.
Who?
Let's consider the clues.
This is Iris's real mum, I'm guessing?
The scene. Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse. Sunday night, we saw So here. And there is something else about So Sajima.
Oh, he remembers killing her.
We witnessed someone similar to Iris being stabbed repeatedly in So's Somnium.
But it wasn't Iris. It was this woman.
That is highly likely.
What we saw was So's memory from more than 10 years ago.
I believe that is the case.
Renju and So?
But we still do not know where Renju is.
That means that we need to talk to...
So Sajima.
Pitiful corpse. Just looking at him. Okay, well, I knew we wasn't done with So Sajima. But again, it'd be a really boring answer if he was the murderer all along, because we already said he was the murderer all along. Can't be the new murderer, surely. We still haven't met everyone, have we? Like, if we go to the log right now... There we go. There's the design. Oh yeah, I guess the cat thing would have been more obvious. We've not even met 3 of the people. Single-edged sharp object, kitchen knives, fruit knives, and katanas all fall under this category of blade. Or was it that one there? It's classified. Yeah, okay, it's that one up there. Let's save our game, it's been a while. Mizuki and Ota kept searching for Iris, but unfortunately they didn't turn up anything. Iris's whereabouts is still unknown. I'm worried about her, but without any leads, we'd just be looking for her blindly. I should focus on the investigation for now. Will eventually lead me to Iris, I'm sure of it. That in mind, I headed to So's mansion. You know, hitting me was a stupid idea of mine. She was talking to So, though.
I thought I told you never to show your face here again.
Stone. Garden stone. Topiary. A topiary. Pond. A pond. Bridge. There's not a bridge. Over the pond. Mansion. Tsujima residence. Tree. A tree. A tree. Question. So it's feeding the koi in the pond as usual. It's questioning him.
I didn't come here for Shoko today. I didn't come here for Iris either. Instead, I'm here for a girl who looks like Iris. Did you kill her?
Date, look.
I knew it. You killed her, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've had enough of your shit, Congressman. You wanted to check on the body of the girl you killed. That's why you were at the cold storage warehouse 2 days ago.
Are you her dad, then? Her biological father? Maybe.
Where is Renju Okiura? You know where he is, don't you? You were at an Okiura fishery warehouse for a reason. There's definitely a connection between you two. And that's not all. Number 89 called your secretary. The same number 89 that Renju escaped with. Now tell me, where is Renju?
Suddenly, a gang of bodyguards stormed out of the mansion. In an instant, they've surrounded me. Bear in mind, he has been murdered in the other plotline.
We'd like to ask you to please leave.
What a strange face he's pulling there.
Damn it, So!
There's nothing we can do. We did arrive without a warrant. We were technically trespassing. If he had called the police, we would be in a predicament.
And a precinct.
We would have been detained immediately. Who would look after Iris then? Do you intend to leave your responsibility with Mizuki and Ota?
Ah!
Calm down, Date. We still have our lead.
Lead?
Before I explain, we need to discuss the corpse in the cold storage warehouse. Let's give her a name. Because she is frozen solid, we could call her All Ice or Alice. What do you think? Alice and Iris. I believe it fits nicely.
Indeed. Nice reference to Zero Escape there.
Alright, Alice. What about her?
Someone might be able to identify her.
Who?
Allow me to ask you 3 questions.
Again with this?
First question. You have seen this corpse more than twice. 3 times, in fact. When was the first time?
I don't have a clue. Because I don't remember the days, do I? I'm gonna say 3 days ago.
3 days ago. Saturday night when I synced at Abyss.
Yes. In the Somnium world, we saw the frozen corpse of a girl. Question 2. Who is the girl?
Yeah, I can't remember the circumstances of the Somnium. Adrian?
Adrian? Adrian!
Not appropriate.
No, of course not.
Alice.
Now I know. That girl was probably Alice.
Most likely, yes. So we have technically known Alice for 3 days. One last thing. The final question. In which Somnium did we see Alice?
Fuck knows.
Adrian!
Rocky!
Adrian!
Rocky!
But seriously, I am talking about the corpse. Do you think you should be joking at a time like this?
Were you joking as well? Was it Mizuki?
My roommate, Mizuki Okiura.
Exactly. You mentioned something about Mizuki's Somnium being some kind of prophecy. But prophecies are nonsense.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Dreams are not made of the future. They are made from the past. Therefore,
Mizuki has seen Alice before.
there is no other explanation.
Aiba, where is Mizuki now?
Where we went with Iris yesterday, the Kume Shrine.
The shrine? Why would she be there?
Unknown. She is supposed to be looking for Iris.
Okay, let's go.
It's kind of a bit weird we never asked her about that before. Like, the only reason I forgot is because we've been jumping around all these timelines.